Welcome back to another video. Guys, I cannot stop yawning. I feel so tired and I don't really know why. It's Tuesday evening. We're now going into week 3 of 4. I compete in less than 2 weeks. Today is my secondary bench day. It's like a heavy last and press day. Plan for the day is a top triple at an RP of 8, followed by a single 5 kilos heavier, a back off set of 4 at an RP 7, and then I've just got some 3 count pause comp bench, nice and light at 95, which to be fair is the heaviest we've done those since adding those in. But it's going to be a heavy bench day, and I'm actually quite excited. The last couple of weeks haven't been the best execution, but to be honest, my coach has been pretty happy. I've been pretty happy, and I think the overarching thing is like I'm getting the stimulus that I need for my heavy bench at the end of the week to show up really well. So I don't think either of us are too concerned if my pauses aren't super clear, super strict or anything. And the plan is to try and go up on last week's load, which is exciting. If I hit the planned numbers for tonight, which let's be honest, I'm going to load them, it will be a matched last and press triple PB and single PB, which leaves room for week 4 of the block, depending on, my coach hasn't written up my taper week yet, depending on what he decides to do. But I think when we started together, we did our comp in December together, our first comp together, I think I only started with him like 13 weeks out or something. He asked me how I kind of taper my bench, and we actually had very similar methods of tapering bench, which is essentially pull the volume back a little bit, but keep the kind of load similar / the same, keep that intensity up, which is a pretty common thing, I think, when it comes to bench. But my bench usually tapers really, really well. And actually the taper we did together for the December comp, which is British Open, my bench tapered perfectly. And my bench is currently a lot stronger than it was back then. So if we can get the taper right again, we're in a good spot. And actually, speaking of the taper, things are kind of starting to be pulled back a little bit now. So like accessories, the RPs dropped a little bit. Volume on last and press, like normally I do a back off set of 5, I've got a back off set of 4 today, like very minimal changes, but we're you know, things are starting to change, which means comp is getting close, and I'm actually looking forward to competing for once. Also, I hope you guys like my Gilmore Girls t-shirt that my boyfriend got me for my birthday last year. He had no idea what to buy me for my birthday, and I think at the time I was like rewatching Gilmore Girls for the 10 millionth time, so he just went on TikTok shop and bought me random Gilmore Girls things, including this t-shirt. That wasn't relevant. Anyway, I'm pretty tired today, and I don't really know why. It's been a really good day. I am training later than planned, so it's like 20 to 7. It's not a problem. I often train this late, but I was hoping this week to really get ahead and kind of get to bed a little bit earlier, especially because last week I really did struggle because I did not get enough sleep throughout the week, and I felt really tired and stuff. And obviously with comp getting closer, like that needs to be a priority now. But when I took the dog for a walk earlier, I ended up bumping into someone in the woods basically that we've met once before, and literally talking for ages and just kind of getting lost in a really long conversation. So I ended up being gone for way longer than planned, which just pushed things back a little bit, but like it's fine, it's not a big deal. Thankfully the sun is still shining and it's still light out, so I don't feel as bad training at this time anymore. Nutrition update. Oh guys, my carbs are so high. So in my check-in with my nutrition coach, I suggested for the last couple of weeks before comp that we essentially, because body weight's where it needs to be, maybe a little bit higher than we want it, but still within cutting range, and still kind of similar to where it was when we did the cut for British bench on much lower calories. So the gut cut should be way more effective this time anyway, because my food volume is so much higher. But anyway, I suggested that we essentially just lower protein a little bit, still within like the recommended daily allowance. And when we did the aggressive cut earlier in the year, that's around where we had my protein, and actually I felt pretty good. Obviously, taking into account the fact my calories were super low, and that made me feel rough. But it was when we first boosted my carbs before we also boosted my protein, I still felt really solid. And I noticed like, you know, I just felt way more receptive to those higher carbs. I didn't necessarily need that higher protein range. So we've basically gone with, okay, well, let's, you know, trial this. We'll drop protein to kind of like the lower limits of what would be recommended for recovery purposes, muscle growth and like muscle protein synthesis and stuff. And then we will increase carbs with whatever we've kind of decreased by. So on most days now, my carb goal is roughly 290 to 295. And then for the longer, heavier sessions where I have slightly higher calories, which will be like a Wednesday and a Sunday, if I feel like I need them, because I'm probably not going to do this just because I want my body weight to come down a little bit more before we do the cut next week. 340 grams of carbs is the recommended like target, which my carbs have never ever been that high. And to be like 10 days out from comp and have my carbs like basically 300 plus, it's insane and it's so good. And yesterday was the first day of me doing it, and like, I just feel good. And also the extra carbs is allowing me to kind of make sure I'm hitting even higher fiber, so that when we do the gut cut, it should be way more effective than normal, which my fiber is usually pretty high anyway. Like, that is something I always tick, especially when I know I've got a cut coming up. Like, if I'm slacking on my fiber, I will be kicking it up a notch as the cut gets closer, because that is like literally what the gut cut is for. So hopefully we see a good result from the gut cut as well. And the cut is pretty smooth sailing. So I haven't actually got a bath in my room this time. I didn't know basically the hotel, or the comp is being hosted in a hotel, and basically anyone either volunteering or competing gets a discounted rate. I didn't know this. I treated myself to not an expensive room, it's the cheapest room this hotel does, but it's not a cheap hotel, a room in the actual comp hotel, thinking, oh, you know, let's treat yourself, it's comp weekend, just stay in the venue, it'll be way more convenient for you. But I was not willing to pay the extra. I think it was like £130 extra just to have a room with a bath. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that, because that's basically the cost of a room for a night anyway. So I paid like full price for this hotel room, and then I realised that, or I found out that we can get a discounted rate, and I bought a non-refundable room. So I've not been given the discounted rate, and I'm quite upset about it. But basically my room does not have a bath in it, so I'm gonna have to do like hot showers if I do need to cut weight. Although I think there is a spa available in the hotel, but you have to pay extra for it, and I don't like spending money. So hopefully none of that is necessary, and I can basically just spit my way down on the day, which is exactly what I had to do for British Bench. I think I did one warm shower. No, I think I had attempted a hot bath, but the bath water just wouldn't get hot enough, and I kind of just got frustrated and gave up and decided to basically just spit my way there and have a hot shower. So I know I'll make it and I'll be absolutely fine regardless, but hopefully we don't have to do much on the day manipulation is kind of what I'm hoping for. And we're in a good spot to not have to. The thing is as well, with increasing carbs, we are expecting a little bit of a spike in body weight just from extra essential, like essentially just water retention, which happens when you increase your carbs. But as my coach kind of said, you know, we can taper my carbs on the week of comp and increase my fats to account for the calorie change, which is what I used to do when I used to do my own cuts anyway. And because my carbs are so high, I will still be high carb doing that. So we've basically got a lot of options in terms of the cut, and we're in a really good spot. And it feels really weird to me that by the time this video comes out, it will be comp week. So that's kind of cool, kind of exciting. But yeah, I'm feeling good. I think something just switched in my brain recently where I was like, you need to just stop self-sabotaging as comp gets closer. And obviously it's not something I've been doing consciously, but I mean, British Bench was just the result of my leverages changing from a deficit and my butt not staying on the bench and like my calories being so low, so I didn't feel super strong. But like I still benched 115 that day, and that would have won had I kept my ass on the pad, which obviously I didn't, so it's on me. But generally speaking, like the comps before that, the full power comps I've done that I was quite disappointed in last year, it's on me. Like it's definitely a mental thing. So if I can just keep my mentals in check, we'll be good. And I feel like I'm actually on track to doing that this time. And yeah, I'm quite excited to compete. I just need to really try on the day, which sounds so silly, but it's obviously true. But I am enjoying this prep. I'm enjoying this peak. I will say my hamstring issue, I have been a little bit aware of. Not so much like the pain with the hamstring issue I had, if you haven't watched my videos before, basically I had this ongoing issue with my hamstring for ages. And I think it was a tendonitis type thing. The physio I worked with also agreed it was most likely a tendon issue. And essentially at the insertion point at the top of my hamstring, kind of bottom of my glute, is where the pain would stem from. Sometimes it would kind of spread around into my hip, but actually when it got a lot worse, it was more just the whole length of my hamstring in that left leg, all the way down to the back of my knee, was just super kind of agitated. And it's been way better, like hardly notice it at all. But I haven't really noticed the pain at the insertion point, like top of my leg at all recently. But I have noticed the actual hamstring itself again, like the length, like the full length of the hamstring. I don't know why I'm doing that. The full length of the hamstring has been feeling a little bit tender, but I think it could also just be a little bit of muscle soreness and I'm just being paranoid. I've been doing way more steps recently. I did 14,000, well, nearly 15,000 on Saturday, 12,000 yesterday. I can't remember what I did Sunday. I didn't do quite as many Sunday just because I was at a party for my nephew during the day. But like today I'll be on track to like 12,000 again, and I'm really trying to keep my steps up so that my body weight obviously comes down a little bit, but also I feel so good doing this many steps. So yeah, also did, sorry, this is such a long talking segment, but just any other updates I can think of. I also did speak to my nutrition coach about doing another small cut once Bench Worlds is done. So 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks after the English, I've got Bench Worlds. I am also, I don't actually think I've confirmed this in a video, I am also doing European bench press at the start of August, but essentially what I've asked or suggested to my nutrition coach, and my powerlifting coach is fully on board for this as well, is cutting like another kilo to 2 kilos once world bench is done, and kind of getting my body weight actually sitting at pretty much 84 on the dot, kind of 83.5 to 84.5 within that range, just to give me plenty of leeway. And if I don't feel great doing it, then we can obviously go back up. But because we've kind of got to a point where I'm kind of 85.5 to 86, maybe 86.5 on like a heavier day on 2,400 calories, we can get my body weight down with my calories still being like 2,000 to 2,200 most likely. So because we've kind of done that, I think it would be quite an achievable goal, but obviously we'll just kind of see. But I think I'll get bench worlds done first. I do have to be really strict between All England and bench worlds in that 2.5 week period. I'm actually going to track all of my macros and everything on comp day, because my coach, like my nutrition coach, and I kind of spoke about it, and she said, you know, you can have like one meal or something like post comp, but really you need to get straight back on it because you haven't got a big turnaround, and we can't really risk anything going into bench worlds. Like I want the smoothest cut possible for bench worlds, especially with it being bench only. You don't want to do these crazy aggressive cuts because it will have more of an impact on your performance. So I'm thinking to myself, if I can track, and actually I want to track my kind of post weigh-in food and stuff and just make sure that I'm hitting all the right amount of carbs and everything, because that's something I actually don't ever bother to do, which is silly. But if I track all of my food on the day and make sure I stay within my calories on comp day, because realistically I compete at 2, I weigh in at 12. I'm not going to eat until 12, maybe half 12, depending on when I weigh in. I'm not going to need the full 2,400 calories that I normally have in a day to get through comp day. So I might as well stick within my calories, and then when I'm home, maybe like whatever rest day, because my days are going to shuffle around, I have that week, maybe I'll go for like one off-plan meal with my boyfriend or my family or some like friends or something, just to give me some kind of like social kind of relief. But then it will literally be continue back on as we are. But anyway, that was a lot of talking. I need to get in the mood to do this heavy bench session because I'm currently very tired, but it'll be fine. I'm also hating myself because the deadlift bar behind me is still loaded from Sunday, and I do this every single time I have deadlifts. I finish deadlifts, I'm like, yes, thank God I can go in, or do my rehab and then go in. I finished, great. And then I leave the bar loaded, and then I come in here for my next session and I hate myself because I've left the bar loaded and now I have to unload the bar. But that is completely my own fault. I literally do it every time, so I can't really blame anyone but myself. Okay, so session done, well, main lift done, gotta go do my accessories at the gym now, but I'll be honest, I didn't feel strong at all today. Literally from 70, my first warm up, all the way up to my top set. Like, I think my last warm up at 102.5 convinced me that I need to just go for the 107.5, which was the goal for today, because I did 105 last week. But all of my warm ups up to the 102.5, I did not know how today was gonna go. But it was fine. It wasn't the most cleanly executed, but the pauses on the first 2 reps of the triple were better than last week. The last rep was literally just sheer panic of, oh God, and then I just pressed like immediately as it touched my chest. And I think I did pretty much the same on the single, to be honest. I've definitely done, like, I think the triple moved better than the last time I tripled 107.5 with last and press, but the single was definitely a bit worse. But I'm not mad. Like, it wasn't my strongest day, and I still managed to do that. Also, can you see the sunburn on my shoulders? It's so bad. Yeah, I'm not actually mad at how anything moved. The 102.5 for 4 was definitely a little bit harder than it was supposed to be, But again, it's not my strongest day. It's fine. I think, to be honest, I've eaten too close to training and I'm still kind of a bit bloated / digesting my food a little bit, which is literally just because I didn't want to leave it any longer before I started training. But it is what it is. Like, it wasn't bad. Like, it wasn't actually bad at all. So no complaints from me. Still feeling positive, still feeling happy. My 3 counts, they just always suck. Like, it doesn't matter what load is on the bar. They feel the same every week. They just suck. But, you know, it is what it is. Don't think there's anything else to really say. I'm a little bit out of breath. I literally just finished. Did struggle with my breathing on the bench again tonight. I said this last week in this session as well. It's just, yeah, finding it a little bit difficult to like re-brace and everything between reps and kind of hold that position. But that's kind of the point of doing it. More practice is needed, obviously, with it. But I'm really happy. I think this heavy lats and press day has been an absolute game changer in terms of just my confidence when it comes to benching as well. Like, for the comp in December that I did, so for British, my first comp work with my current coach where I benched 120, like, I opened at 112 that comp and I was scared to open at 112. Whereas now, to be honest, anything up to 117 I'd be comfortable opening with. I think 117 would be a little bit of a stretch, but like, I don't know where my coach wants me to open, but I would imagine it's probably going to be about 115. And I mean, there's a good chance I'm going to last and press 115 at the start of next week. So I'm actually, like, I'm feeling way more confident about where I'm going to open and stuff. Like, I'm not too stressed about the carpet being a little bit slippery. Obviously, I don't want to take that back and, you know, jinx myself and have a slippery carpet, but the Hyper-V's feel incredible for grip. My butt's staying down if I can have my feet that far forwards and stuff. Like, I'm feeling really positive, very excited. Well, maybe not excited, but I am looking forward to competing, I think, for the first time in a long time. And actually, I'm not dreading bench only now either. Like, I'm feeling a bit more positive about that as well, which is really nice, especially because I've got 2 coming up. So yeah, no notes, nothing else to really say. Need to get in and get to the gym. Quite glad that accessories are starting to be cut back now. Like, it's just 2 sets and everything tonight. Slightly lower RPE. And yeah, I feel ready to start pulling back now. Like, as much as my body doesn't really feel too beat up or anything. Like, I feel pretty good. So, like, I could keep pushing this block if we needed to. Or like push another couple of blocks if we needed to. But like, part of me, it feels ready to kind of start tapering back now and just kind of put it all together on the day. So yeah, it feels strange to be this confident, this close to comp. Usually at this point, I'm kind of struggling to want to do it. But yeah, we'll see how I'm feeling obviously this time next week. So I think my weight cut will start around next Wednesday, Thursday time. So may change my mood then, but it also feels weird to me that this is my last week of like fully eating normally. So I think once the weight cut kind of gets here that week, even though the weight cut probably won't start until 3 days out, like when we get to that 1 week out mark and I'm like, okay, well, I've got this many days left of normal eating. I've got to buy my gut cut foods and all of that side of things. Like, as soon as those days get here, the time just passes so quickly anyway. So I've rearranged kind of how unofficially rearranged how I'm doing my working week and stuff as well, just give me a lot more freedom on the weekends, which I think obviously for my comp, I'm not going to be working that Sunday anyway, apart from like sending out my nutrition check-in email, which I do anyway on a Sunday, but like just rearranging my week so that my weekends are a little bit more free and more just like kind of replies only is really going to, I think, be a game changer as well for just keeping stress levels and stuff down with the next few comps I've got coming up. It feels really weird as well that I've literally got 3 more comps coming up in like the next couple of months. I don't even know when August is. 3 months away? 4 months away? I don't know. I'm going to stop talking. Thank you very much. If you made it to the end of the video, I really appreciate it. Please be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you in a few days for the next one.